I drove a Datsun 280ZX because they didn't have Nissans yet. And I thought I had everything, and I had all the signs of success and everything. But I was burning the candle at both ends, and the thing was, I was so in it, I couldn't see that I was in it. And I was absolutely living in survival mode. And some of the things that I was experiencing were just like this. What did I click? I don't know. Maybe I won't play with that. I'll play with this. No, it's cool. I'm going to play with this. You can have that. Okay. Yeah, boys' toys. Okay. Who can relate to any of these? Who's got a full set? Just checking. These are actually all signs of adrenal burnout. I do a lot of work over in Asia, and over there I find it interesting that they pay the doctors to keep them well. If you get sick, you don't pay. Now that's the complete opposite of our medical model. And also over there, these are actually all signs of what's called adrenal tiredness. You know how they say that you're born with a certain amount of chi, a certain amount of life force that they talk about in the Asians? And it lives in your adrenal glands, which are little glands that sit on top of your kidneys. And what's meant to happen every day is you're meant to spend a bit of adrenal energy and you're meant to put a bit back in. And then you're meant to spend a bit and put a bit back in. The problem is people are spending it all the time and not putting it back in. Who does broken sleep? You know, you get to sleep and then you wake up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the first sign of adrenal tiredness. Who gets sore on this point on your shoulders? And you thought that was just bad posture. They're all actually signs of adrenal tiredness. And they say that in Chinese medicine, we say that when you run out of qi, you die. I was on a flight back from Sydney to the Gold Coast about 18 months ago, 2 years ago now, and a guy had a heart attack on the plane. And he was a few rows behind me on the plane, and the woman with him's going, it's not fair, we haven't had a holiday for 4 years. And this is the first day of our holidays. And that's it. And that's very much the space that I was in. Who's ever got crook on the first day of their holidays? You know, your adrenals adapt and cope with you while they have to, but the moment you give them an inch, they're gone. And they get to the point that they just can't cope with you anymore. But they're actually giving you little hints as you go along all the time. So the 7 Steps to Sanity is the system that I use to get myself well, and the way that I've worked with my patients for the last 15 years in clinic on ways to get them well, but also to learn how to come from a place of prevention. Who's like me? If you laid on a beach all day doing nothing, that has the potential to be more stressful than going fast doing what you want to do. That's it. So for me, living a balanced life isn't about laying on a beach doing nothing. It's learning how to do what you want to do, but do it in a way that it feeds you energy instead of sucking the life out of you. Okay? And think how that reflects to the team that you work with. Some people think that, you know, bringing wellbeing practices and that in the corporate environment means you're going to send the staff off doing meditation or yoga lessons all day and they're not going to be productive, or you've got to keep them all relaxed and all this stuff. It's not what it's about. It's about learning how to have them function better. So 7 is really pushing it. So we're going to do 3 quick ones, the 3 most important. So, and I'll summarise these quickly at the end. We say in Chinese medicine that the way you recharge your adrenals best is with good food, good rest and good play. So I am a naturopath. I'll talk about one thing about nutrition. We did some research last year with GU Health. We surveyed a bunch of 200 corporates here in Sydney. We found that 67% of them said that when they were stressed, they went to stimulants. That was the tea, coffee, alcohol. That was the chocolate at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, your classic kind of stimulants. But 53% of those also went to comfort food. And they were the under 30s. And where's the obesity happening now? In the young ones. What was the comfort food they were going to? Carbs. It was. So do you remember when we were at school, we used to make glue out of flour and water? Do you remember how that glue smelt when it had been in the jar for 3 days? What do you think white bread is? It is the same thing. It is flour and water. So it's that same gluey kind of stuff. But when we, throw in some, a couple of eggs and maybe some sugar and stuff and wrap it into a cake or a pastry or a bun or whatever, where does the glue go? Stand up and I'll show you. Come on, this is the interactive part of the afternoon. I got the wake-up session. I get to wake you up before the guys from downstairs come back up. Okay, so what I want you to do is, on the outside of your legs, when your fingers reach on the outside of your legs. I want you to give it a really good massage, hard and fast. Just give it a really good rub. Anybody a bit sore? Sit down, I'll tell you what it's about. This is the 30-second version of this. So what that is, that's a pressure point for your large intestine. What's meant to happen is when you eat food, is that your small intestine takes all the good stuff out and gives you, all your vitamins and minerals and everything, and your large intestine is where any last liquids in that are absorbed before it goes out as waste. If you're eating gluey foods, white bread, white rice, white pasta, and I actually call them bum glue, because that's what they do, is they stick in there and they suck the life out of you. Who needs a power nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon? It's 2 or 3 o'clock and you're thinking, I could really do with a nap. Change your lunch and start having whatever you had. You'll find it's on the days when you had something white with it. Change it to whole meal and you've got a different sense of energy in the afternoons. Okay? So if you're sore on the left leg, you're like the majority of the Australian population and you've got some kind of residue of that gluey stuff in your large intestine, and that's because we were all raised on white bread. If you're sore on your right leg, it means you're actually backed up to your appendix, and in clinic we say that you're full of shit. So if you think you've got a bit of room for improvement, if you did nothing else but reduce the amount of white bread, rice and pasta the majority of the time, you've got a seriously different energy, and think where your bowel cancers and things are coming from. If that glue sits there for another 10 years or so, you're in trouble. Next point I want to talk about is about playing. Now, who got the play more sticks? A lot of people, they say, I've been out of balance, I'm burning the candle at both ends, I'm not looking after myself, I'm going to get well. And what's the first thing they do? They go and eat properly. And the next thing they do, maybe they'll go to the gym. What's the thing they forget to do? Play. People have got so damned boring nowadays. If you smell that play more, these are actually, what's on these sticks is just aromatherapy. And aromatherapy is just old-time pharmacy. I do nothing different nowadays to what I did when I was in pharmacy. I'm just working with products closer to nature. So the main oil in that, which is what gives it that really yummy lemon sherbet kind of smell, is an oil that we get from China, and it's called Mei Chang. And in China it's used as an antidepressant. We also use it for all the anxieties and heart kind of stresses. So it's about, sometimes that, or do you think that we can actually get rid of stress? Can we prevent everything from happening? No, but we can modify your perception to what's happening. So if you know you've got a big time coming up, what if you actually use some oils in the workplace to modify the environment so that you coped better? Do you remember when the tsunami happened 18 months ago, nearly 2 years ago? I saw an interview with some little kids in Aceh when they sent them back to school, and they said to these little girls, you've lost everything. You've lost your family, you've lost your home, you have nothing in the world. Why do you want to go to school? And these little kids said, we just want to play hopscotch. And yet, you know what? I see corporates on a daily basis who are living in that same survival mode as those kids were. It's not as dramatic as in your face, but it's like a little tsunami every single day. So it's about learning how to come from that place of prevention. So using aromatherapy is not new and clever, although it's in new ideas, so you'd think it is. It's really just old-time pharmacy, okay? And the way you can do it in the workplace is you can, the electric vaporizers, they pass all the workplace health and safety standards, no water, no candles, put the oils on top, plug them in, never worry about them again. I spend most of my time on aeroplanes, and like I was in the United States a few weeks ago, and over there, they pat you down before you even hop on the plane because you can't take liquid or anything nowadays, but I could still travel with my stress-relaxing kind of oils in an aromatherapy bracelet. I couldn't have liquids with me, but I was able to take literally my preventative medicines with me on the road with me. So I don't wait to get wound up. I'm still human and I have my moments, don't worry, but I know you're winding me up. The boys are coming back in. One last thing. The step 5, which is about getting a life. Who comes to these kind of events and thinks, that's it, I've got great intention, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this, and they go back to the real world, and what happens? Nothing. Well, not nothing. You've still got great intention, but things get in the way. So on your desks, on your table, you've all got one of these. This is my online mentoring program, which we usually charge for, but I'm really happy to give it to you today for free, which is where every week for a year we send you one tip about how to stay physically or emotionally well. So it might say, just for this week, don't eat any bum glue. It's that simple. Just this week, be nice to your partner, because we haven't got time to go into all that today. Okay, so if you're wanting that, it is email driven. Please fill it out or come up and have a chat to me later. I'm happy to talk to you more about it. Bottom line, you're in control of your own life. But how more productive do you think you can be, and how much more productive can you be, and can the performance of your staff be improved if actually everyone's coming from a sane space to start with? It took a car accident for me 20 years ago and for me burning myself out to realise that there's more to life. And I go harder and faster nowadays than I ever did. But you know what? I've come from a place of prevention nowadays. And for me, leading a balanced life isn't about doing without the things you love. It's actually about learning how to have it all, but learning how to do it in a way that it feeds you energy instead of sucking the life out of you. So thank you for my 7 minutes. Thank you.